President Trump exploding at both Iran and Israel today after the ceasefire he announced yesterday was very quickly broken. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager. That ceasefire holding now, but being described as tenuous. And a new intelligence report indicates U.S. airstrikes may not have wiped out all of Iran's nuclear program. Fox 4's Sean Rabb is in the newsroom in the studio tonight with more. Sean.
Hi, Steve. Let's start with that report. It is not official, but information leaked from within the administration. Now, the White House says this is an attempt to discredit President Trump and the brave pilots who carried out the mission. The president this morning unhappy with his undertaking to bring peace to the Middle East, seemingly being undermined by both Israel and Iran.
Basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
President Donald Trump with a bomb of his own Tuesday morning as Israel and Iran broke the ceasefire he announced late Monday.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Since firing missiles at each other early this morning, both sides seemingly standing down right now.
But I would consider this fragile for as long as it lasts, because if I was in Netanyahu's war cabinet, I would want to press the Israeli advantage now while we have it. If I was an IDF commander, I would want to press the Israeli advantage now that we have it. And that's going to be really hard for him to resist.
The president under fire from some congressional Democrats. Houston Democrat Al Green filing a House resolution to impeach Trump for not getting congressional approval before ordering Operation Midnight Hammer. TCU political science professor Ralph Carter says President Trump is on firm constitutional ground.
The War Powers resolution gives him a period of up to 48 hours to notify Congress if he sends American troops into an area of real or imminent hostilities. And he clearly let us know well within that.
For the president, the greater problem is what to do if Iran and Israel resume hostilities.
He can't really punish Israel without angering his own political base and causing some sort of fissure within the Republican Party. And those cracks are already there.
Carter referencing Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who openly criticized the president over the attack on Iran's nuclear sites. Whether the U.S. is somehow drawn into protracted involvement with Israel and Iran is an open question, and so too, whether there will ever be peace.
When each country, Israel and Iran, sees the other as its existential threat, then any point of friction can flare up into a war or into a series of strikes against each other. That's going to keep happening. That's not going to change.
Well, lawmakers were supposed to have a classified briefing on the U.S. attack on Iran today. That's been pushed back till Friday, all hoping the brittle ceasefire between Israel and Iran doesn't break.
All right, that's Sean Rabb in the studio. Sean, thanks. Nice.